Laura's name, please. Hi, I'm Mark Alyn, and this is Mark Alyn Cooks Your Dinner. We are going to have a very exciting show. Our regular guest, who was supposed to be here, had I guess, kind of an emergency. And so he's at his office taking care of a patient, but his wife, who's a dietitian, is going to step in. We're going to be talking about Kyolic today. We're going to be talking about healthy eating on a budget. So don't go away, because this is Mark Alyn Cooks, and we're live right now on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Join us, won't you? Okay, we are here in beautiful, sunny Southern California. We are going to go to Fort Worth, Texas, and we're going to meet a new friend. We're going to meet Laura Lavelle, and let's bring Laura up. Hello, Laura.
I'm so glad to be joining you. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time.
And I understand I get to sort of boss you around a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You tell me what to do. We had
Okay.
somebody who told me she was a professional chef, and she said, "Stir that. No, stir faster. Stir. You're not stirring fast enough." Then it was really, it was really a good time. I want to say hello to our friends at Kyolic at Waganaga of America. They've sent us a couple of samples of stuff. Jim was going to join us today. Jim is the author of the big book, Carol. That's, if you can put that up right there.
Metabolic Code.
Yeah. And you can find out more about Kyolic at kyolic.com. And Jim wrote a book called Cracking the Metabolic Code. And I've interviewed Jim more than a dozen times. And so hopefully Jim maybe he'll sneak in as he came home from the office. But we have Laura, who's a dietitian, and let's talk about your background. We can lose the book.
Yes. Well, I am a registered and licensed dietitian. I have about 30 years into it now. I started in hospital practice setting in 1995. And so I've seen a lot of diet sort of trends come and go. I've seen every diet possible, either tried them myself or seen what they do in people. So an extensive background, but I actually helped Jim quite a bit on the Cracking the Metabolic Code book. I edited the whole thing, and I went through all the fact checking with our publisher, and it's been a wonderful foundation for us for teaching people how to personalize their health programs using their symptoms and their labs, and that's kind of what Cracking the Metabolic Code is all about. It's called precision medicine now, or precision wellness, to help people go based on getting the results that they need with their body, with their chemistry.
Got it. Let's talk about chemistry. You're holding a glass of Prosecco. I'm jealous. I have a glass of Viognier. And how would you, we usually do some kind of a toast. So I'm going to ask you to do the toast today.
Oh, I am so thankful. It seems that people are waking up more than ever to the importance of taking care of their bodies with good, fresh foods. And so this is a toast to good health, good life.
Good. There
and
we
a good
go.
friend.
Good friends. Ah, nice. Okay. Though I think I'd rather have the Prosecco. I like the bubbles. We're going to start. Kyolic is a whole foundation of products based on odorless garlic. I'm going to show you just a couple of products here real quick. This one is immune support. I'll bring it up like that.
I, I love that
And,
product.
and this one, Jim told me about 6 months ago to get this one. And this is cholesterol health. And while I don't have a
Mhm.
cholesterol problem, he said it's just something that'll help regulate your cholesterol.
Mhm.
Waganaga guys, I could use a bottle of this. And
I
I'm
need some more too.
self-promoting. And this one is heart, bone, and immune health. And I think this one is particular for women, I would think, because of osteoporosis.
Yes, yeah, more so, but it can happen in anybody, of course, but yeah, women especially.
Got it. All right, I'm going to move these out of the way, and we're going to start. We're making shrimp, garlicky shrimp with spinach today. And before we started our show, I told Laura that we love garlic. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice this garlic. Now, we'll have the recipe posted later on today. That will be Jim's.
While you're chopping the garlic, can I tell you one thing? I want to do my first
Yeah,
lawsuit.
sure.
I don't want to see any ultra processed foods tonight, okay, Mark?
Everything we
You know
have
what I
tonight
mean? Ultra
is,
processed foods, I think people need this message to be ingrained yet again. You know, we've been hearing for a long time, no white flour, you know, real refined processed flours, no white sugars, these extruded grains like corn that they turn into a cheese puff, you know. And guess what they just found out in a new study on ultra processed foods? When
carcinogenic.
people eat too many ultra processed foods in the diet, they eat on average 500 more calories a day.
Wow.
And these foods have been linked to, because the lack of nutrition, increased risk for anxiety and depression, not to mention risk for the only two cases of scurvy I've ever seen, you know, vitamin C deficiency, were in
Oh
people that
my.
ate ultra food. So no ultra processed foods.
No.
When you eat fresh foods, you eat 500 fewer calories a day, and you increase your nutrition intake, and you lower your risk for obesity
Well,
and
I know
heart.
that Jim and I have talked about GMOs. I'm totally against genetically modified foods. Our foods today, the garlic is organic. The spinach that I'll be making is organic from Trader Joe's. The shrimp is wild caught shrimp from Whole Foods. In fact, I'm really proud of this shrimp. The shrimp is, they're called pink shrimp. They are wild caught. Carol and I eat them on a regular basis,
Are
probably
those
every
the
2 to 3
Argentinian?
weeks. I'm sorry?
I see the Argentinian wild caught pretty frequently that
Yes,
are pink. Yeah,
right. And they're tasty. I try not to buy farm raised foods, um,
same.
be, right? Because I just don't like them. Trader Whole Foods, I will buy sometimes their um, their farm raised salmon and some of their fish because
Mhm.
they do have certain rules. What I'm doing now is heating up the olive oil, which again is organic, I think.
Do you want to know
Yes.
another little study on the organic that I came across the other day?
Yeah.
People that eat all conventionally raised and they have more intake, therefore, of all the pesticides, have dramatically and significantly increased risk for infertility from those chemicals and pesticides that are on those foods. So
Whoa.
I've always felt bad about this because I know the organic foods can be more expensive, although it's getting better. But you know, I used to be able to find, I mean, still find some organic foods even in big lots. So you can find things on sale. But I just feel like people need to know that message that if you're younger and you know, think if it's bad enough to cause infertility, then it means it can. You know, we know the other effects. There's things
Right.
like thyroid disruption, immune suppression
The
from these
the other
foods.
thing that you know you were talking about processed foods. and I try not to eat processed foods. In fact, I had a turkey sandwich earlier today. It was organic and smoked, and but no nitrates in it, no sodium benzoate, no, you know,
Yeah, right.
which can cause problems. When I go to an Italian deli, which I do because I crave it sometimes, their meats do have that. But in moderation, do you think it's okay?
In moderation, yeah, yeah, but that's exactly it. Where the sodium nitrates, the benzoates, and I'll tell you another one that people aren't real aware of are the phosphates, the sodium phosphates. Increased intake of sodium phosphates increases risks for kidney failure
Wow.
dramatically, and they're in processed meats, and they're in a lot of the bagged snack foods. You have to watch for them.
I'm going to just move the oil around a little bit. There we go.
Oh, perfect.
And here we go. Listen to this. Oh, I can hear it.
I can see it sizzling.
Yeah.
Oh, that
So
looks delicious.
I
You
love
did a
garlic.
great job slicing the garlic, by the way.
The recipe calls for 6 cloves of garlic. I added 2 extra cloves because I really
That's
like
usually
garlic.
what I do.
All right. Well, I can't wait to have dinner with you and Jim.
Oh, same.
We're gonna wait until this gets a little brown.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're going to add to this is the spinach. The recipe calls for 2 pounds. I've cut it back because it's just Carol and me, though I've kept the amount of shrimp about the same.
That's
Because I like,
about a modification like I would do.
yeah, oh, okay, good.
Because it's just Jim and I at home now. No kids at home
Yeah,
anymore.
empty nesters.
We are.
You're right.
Yep.
Okay, let's go back. By the way, I'm in my own home, and we're a shoeless house. So if you see flat, skinny feet, every now and then, they're mine. Okay?
Awesome. Good for you.
Yeah. Oh, this smells great.
Oh, I can smell. I've got garlic in my kitchen right now, and my chicken that I'm going to add to my roasted vegetables after we're done.
Ah, you're gonna roast the vegetables.
Yes, I love roasted vegetables, and I find that even non-vegetable lovers tend to prefer roasted as they start learning to like more vegetables.
Yeah,
It
I
just brings out
agree.
a savoriness.
Do you remember as a kid, did you like Brussels sprouts? I hated them.
Hated,
Hey,
hated.
right? And they were always gray. Did your mother overcook them too?
Oh yeah.
Right? And
So the roasted Brussels sprouts, so good, right?
well, yeah, I
It
roast them
makes them.
in olive oil and with
Yeah,
mustard
yeah, with
seed
garlic.
and some garlic and some cumin.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was the only problem is I grabbed some the other day and they were too big, and so they weren't sweet. Now, if you look,
Oh
the
yeah.
garlic is
That's
turning.
true. And you know that cumin brings up a good point because when you really center your meals around these low glycemic fresh foods like your vegetables, your proteins, salads, nuts and seeds, beans. Um, what I found over the years is the way to keep from getting bored is to change up the flavor profile. So one night you might do more Southwest, one night you might do more Mediterranean or Indian, curcumin, turmeric, those types of seasonings, cardamom.
Yeah, all right,
Asian,
we're gonna add
same
the
with salad.
spinach in.
Okay, here goes
Whoa!
the
I dropped the
spinach.
plastic. Now, one of the good things about the Trader Joe's spinach, Carol, could you give me the wood spoon, please?
Okay, now what do you have, like a low heat?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What do you have on your burner? A low
Oh,
heat?
it's on a medium heat, and I've just turned it down.
Okay, I was gonna say, you probably ought to turn that down.
And I've lost something. Okay. I'm going to stir this around. I see it. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to stir this around. Now, I'm going to add another bag. How we doing, Laura?
It's looking wonderful. You're doing great.
Now, I may have to add just a tad more oil,
Oil, yeah.
right? So let's talk about this. This meal cost me $6 for the spinach, maybe $1 for the garlic. Somebody add all this up because I can't.
Yeah, probably not even $1 for the garlic, but
Yeah,
yeah, round,
maybe 50
round.
cents. Yeah, and $12.79 for just under a pound of wild caught shrimp, which is enough for two people. So we're having dinner for
So
roughly 15 or
not, yeah,
$16.
yeah, not even $10 a plate,
Yeah,
which
which
by today's food costs is very good
and it's healthy.
and it's healthy.
Now this is a recipe that can be easily adapted. If you're vegan, you could use tofu. You could use another vegetable. I was going to ask you, I thought about adding an egg,
Oh, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
right? We could add
I
an egg.
would, you know
I'm going
what
to add one.
uh,
I'm going to add one
you know
more
what
bag
an
of
interesting
spinach.
addition and this is when you're all done, sprinkle
Oh,
sunflower seeds over it.
oh, that's a
And
very good idea.
yeah, sometimes with some nuts and seeds, it really helps the satiety. Or you might, when you put your garlic in, you could add some mushrooms and saute them along with your garlic. Um, Mushrooms also help satiety because a lot of people, when they're first getting used to eating like lower carb, they feel hungry, not having that starchy food component. So nuts and seeds, mushrooms are a couple of foods that really help that satiety with
Are
this type
mushrooms
of a
healthy?
meal. Mushrooms are very healthy, yes, very healthy.
I
Good
love
sources
mushrooms.
of trace minerals.
Yeah,
Yep.
I use a lot of white mushrooms, button mushrooms, which are the same as the bigger ones. Uh,
Yeah. Portobello's or,
Portobello. It's just
yeah.
they're just they grow them bigger, and they can get more
Well,
money per
yeah,
pound.
the nutrition profile isn't much different between portobello's or white button
Got it.
mushrooms.
So I'm gonna in just a second. Okay. All right. Now I had it a second ago. There we go. All right. I'm going to take the spinach out.
Nice.
I'm going to take most of the spinach out. We may leave a couple of leaves in there. Okay. I'm going to throw in some more oil. I'll let that heat up for a moment.
You know, another addition in this dish that would really be a nice complement is like a cannellini bean.
Oh, yeah.
I like people to work in beans and legumes at least a couple, 3 times a week for the microbiome benefit. Beans and legumes are the best source of something called resistant starch that over the last few years, as they've been studying the microbiome, what they found is that the number one dietary component that helps you keep your beneficial flora happy, proliferating, populating, doing their jobs in there that they're supposed to do that help us with so many things, including managing our blood sugar better and feeling full after meals.
may I ask you a
Beans and
question?
legumes, resistant starch.
May I ask you a question about that?
Yeah,
And that is,
yeah.
can I use canned beans, even if it says organic?
Yes, actually, the one benefit of canned beans is that you can be sure that this is one time when a higher temperature is beneficial because the higher temperature for canning breaks down something called lectins that can be not so healthy especially for some people. So when you eat the beans when they've been cooked at a real high temperature, the lectins are gone.
We have Dr. Greg Salea saying hi. Hello, doctor. I've asked him a dozen times to be on the show. He hasn't said yes. Laura, is it easy? Should Greg come on and cook with me?
You'd have fun. It
Yeah,
is easy.
good. All right. I've got the shrimp here, and I'm going to put that in. I'm going to stir it around. Now, the shrimp cook very, very quickly. And then
Yep.
we're also going to add in at this point some red pepper. And I don't cook with a lot of salt. Hello, Lynn. Lynn Sanders. Hello. Thank you. Okay. Greg said he'd cook with us. I'm a dash of salt.
Awesome. And a little pointer. I think I heard you say you'll spritz with some lemon after a bit. And to switch it up with fish dishes, we always tend to think of lemon, but lime is really good as well, especially a lime with cilantro and Southwest seasoning.
We're going to squeeze in some lemon juice in just a moment. This is oh, Greg will also eat with us. Okay, you got it. Okay.
Better yet.
Yes. Greg is in the Camarillo area. This is a Meyer lemon from our Meyer lemon tree. It's
So
organic.
good.
The smell is amazing. And we'll squeeze in, I think, we'll do that in a minute. Once the shrimp turn pink and cooked.
Okay, and I see Jim pulled in, so I'm gonna let him know he can join. Can I go off camera for a minute?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
All right. The shrimp are pinking up really nicely. You have to flip them, I think. And as I mentioned, these are wild-caught shrimp, not farm-raised. Every now and then, I will buy farm-raised. I try not to.
Okay, I grabbed him. He'll be here shortly.
Oh, good. We'll get a chance to say hi to Jim Lavelle. Jim is an
Yes.
old buddy. We've known each other for about 10. Hey, look who's here.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, you made it. Jim, you got
the camera set for me.
there. You
Wow,
go, Jim.
I gotta tell
You've had a heck of a day. I think you should take a sip of your wife's prosecco.
A little bit of a prosecco.
All right.
Cheers.
Skål.
Oh, delicious. Lovely.
Well,
And
we're
we're
almost done
watching
with your
Mark.
recipe. We've talked about Kyolic. I mentioned that I've been talking about Kyolic since Carol. Um, since Gypsy Boots was one of their
Wow.
spokesman.
You're talking 20 plus years, man.
Yeah, we're talking a long
Or
time. The
more.
shrimp are almost done. You got to be real careful when you're cooking your shrimp. You don't want to overcook them. Let's do one thing there. Okay. Um, we are almost ready. Oh, I'm going to squeeze this in now.
All right.
And
So you
as I
guys got to
told,
talk about Kyolic and all the great benefits when they age the garlic, huh?
Not too much yet.
absolutely, I have to tell. I told everybody earlier. Uh, we talked a few months ago, and you told me that everybody over the age of say 35 or 40, like me, should be on this one, which is Kyolic cholesterol.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is when you look at the value of aged garlic, and it's great to eat garlic. I mean, there's no better food. I'm Italian, right? It's one of the four food groups, garlic, right? But the bottom line is when you age it, it starts to change the behavior of that garlic, and now you're regressing vulnerable plaque. It literally has been shown to turn around vulnerable plaque, to improve blood pressure by as much as 11 points, to help your immune system, to build your T killer cells, to help the diversity of your gut. And then when you look at it in people that are sick, it helps with their microcirculation, it helps reduce their inflammatory compounds. Really, it's a phenomenal nutrient that's got over 900 publications. So, let's eat garlic, but let's take aged garlic to help us be healthy.
I am not. Lynn, you can eat with us too. Come on over. I think Lynn's in Chicago. I have to tell you, these look great. I love garlic too. I'm not Italian, but I must have been Italian in another life. So let me show you what we've got. We have the shrimp here. We've got the spinach underneath.
Oh, yeah.
It also calls for a little bit of lemon zest.
Oh,
So
there we go.
I've got my little zester here. You don't want a lot of this. And because this is a Meyer lemon, it's a little bit sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
Right? So we'll do that. Okay. All right. This is the part of the show that I really like. Well, because I get to taste this. Now I'm sprinkling a little bit of parsley that I've chopped earlier. And there is nothing, fresh parsley, fresh garlic, fresh everything smells and tastes so good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to taste this right now.
All right. I love how vibrant those colors are too.
Yeah.
That's what's amazing. How green the green is. You see the lemon zest. That's amazing.
Mouth's water.
Yeah. You can't hand that through the camera to us. I mean, we're kind of, we're seeing how much you're loving that, Mark.
This is great. Winnetka, Illinois. I grew up in Winnetka, California.
I just saw the comment. We love healthy food. Why? Because when you eat it, you feel so much better. So it gets to, it gets to be self-perpetuating. When you don't have it, you miss your fresh, healthy foods.
This is fabulous. Yes, the recipe will be printed. It'll be up in a couple of hours on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/Mark Alyn Cooks Your Dinner, you'll find all of our recipes there. Hey, let's bring Jim's book up for 1 minute. We have some time. So if you don't mind, Cracking the Metabolic Code. Jim and I have done at least 2, maybe 3 interviews on the book. In the last 2 years, Jim? I mean, we've done dozens of interviews. You're not at, tomorrow I'm doing a red carpet event with Amy Summers at the
Oh, great.
NBJ event
At the summit.
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
summit, NBJ Summit, celebrating Amy's 20th anniversary at Pitch Publicity. And
That's right.
I think the last time we did
and
it,
their big award.
yeah,
Right?
well, you were there and I interviewed you there, right?
That's
And
right.
I think I wore a Mad Hatter outfit. Tomorrow I will be in a tuxedo. Anyway,
Well, there you go.
there we go, right?
All right.
Let's talk about the book. What do you mean cracking the metabolic code? Does that mean that I can go in and twist my metabolism so that I can be slim and skinny like you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the big thing is about, the metabolic code. What was really about was identifying that, as you age, you become more metabolically inflamed, and that's called metaflammation. And metaflammation leads to inflam aging. So what are the things that would guide you through trying to control that inflam aging process? So, understanding stress hormones and their relationship to blood sugar, understanding that your gut has a tremendous impact on not just absorption of nutrients, but your immune function. Understanding the role of thyroid function. And really, one of the biggest things that's going to control metaflammation and inflammation is exactly what you're doing. Eating fresh foods, low glycemic index, lots of vegetables. I mean, you can't go wrong with lots of vegetables, lean proteins. And really, how do you start to shape your lifestyle so that you begin to kind of create a longevity path for yourself? And I know for me, I turned 63 this year, and Laura turned 63 this year. And I know for us, we're just as passionate about, eating healthy, feeling vibrant. And what the Metabolic Code does is it gives you a blueprint to how to evaluate what you can do about your health and some of the best, even mentioning some of the best supplements that you can use. I know we mentioned aged garlic extract or Kyolic. Moducare is another one that's fantastic. These are compounds that can really help you maintain homeostasis and keep away from that inflammatory process.
There's the question that people ask me all the time, and of course, I'm not a doctor. I'm not. You're an ND as well as a registered pharmacist, nutritionist. Are supplements necessary, like Kyolic? Why do we need those? Can't we get those from our foods?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Since the beginning of time, you go to traditional Chinese medicine, supplements have been used. Supplements augment a healthy diet, exercise, proper sleep, management of stress. Do I think you need to do those things first? Absolutely. But based on our genetics, how we eat, how much stress we're under, all these things start to bend and twist on our genes, flipping things on and off. And so why do we use supplements? To keep the balance in place. So whether you look at turmeric as an anti-inflammatory, aged garlic extract for its effect on blood vessels and reducing plaque and inflammation in your body, nutrients play a role to build a robust, flexible metabolism.
But Jim, if I eat fresh vegetables, if I'm eating a ton of kale, which is hard to do. If you eat, and the spinach and all of the greens, do I need supplements? And why?
Yeah, I think you do because, you're getting nutrients. First of all, let's be honest, not a lot of people eat 9 servings of vegetables a day. That's, so
Right.
You want to get nutrient dense food, but not everybody's eating it. The product quality, meaning the food that's being grown, even if it's organic, there's variability in those nutrients. So that part's important. And the third piece is that, just like when you drink sauerkraut juice, when you age it and ferment something or you're aging something, you're changing the physical properties of that food to a more nutritious alternative. So when you age garlic, chemical compounds come out that would not come out no matter how much garlic you ate. And so, yes, is it wonderful to have a baseline of healthy food? Absolutely. Both of us have been advocates of that our whole life together. And for both of us, I think before we knew each other. So, but other than that, it's in the end, look at your labs. Where are you out of balance? If a diet and exercise isn't fixing it, then you need to go to think of, well, what's the next step?
Right.
How about taking some nutrients that could be valuable to reshape your chemistry? Because everybody has different impacts.
I have to say, as we're getting ready to wrap up, I don't know if I could drink sauerkraut juice, though I love sauerkraut. I really do.
I love sauerkraut juice.
Do you?
I can't drink it either. I can drink.
I drink it. I love it. You kidding
So you
me?
buy a jar and you drain it and.
Well, yeah, you can do it that way, or you can actually buy sauerkraut juice.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I eat a lot of kimchi, which is also aged stuff.
Absolutely invaluable. Kimchi is great.
I love kimchi. Hey, will you guys come back when Jim doesn't have
an emergency?
Lynn, not only does food get more nutritious as we age, as it ages, but so do people.
Absolutely.
Right? You know, us guys with gray hair, we rock.
Absolutely. And we still have hair. That's even better.
Yeah, look at this. And look at you.
You got a whole head full, man. You're doing great.
Listen, will you guys come back? I mean,
absolutely. Would love to come back.
All right, good. I appreciate that. Would you guys hold on for just a couple of moments?
Absolutely.
All right, thanks. Hold on. Listen, I can't stop eating this. I can't believe I'm eating just spinach. It's so good. Anyway, appreciate Laura and Jim Lavelle for joining us today here on Mark Alyn Cooks. Next week, we have a kind of an alumni from Mark Alyn Cooks. Guys watching the show, we did some work together 30 years ago. We've had lunch and he's coming on the show next week. His name is Jim Pertee. We'll find out more about Jim next week. I met him when he was assistant city manager at the city of Simi Valley. I was doing some video work for them that many years ago. That's next week. We also have some really great shows coming up. Maybe Greg Salea and Lynn will join us too. I'm Mark Alyn. Carol, as always, thank you, and we appreciate it. We'll see you next time, everybody.